Oh, just show some class, West Ham. I mean, if this is the case, then make a decision on the manager and let him know one way or the other. If you're going round trying to find other managers now and you've sounded someone out and you've agreed a deal with him, then get rid of David Moyes, tell him that his time's up. At least show him some respect. Don't be putting the pressure on him to make a decision. It's really classless from West Ham if that is the case.
Sue?
Yeah, I don't like how it's come out like that. I think what David Moyes has done for that football club, that he obviously went in when they were just above the relegation positions. He's, won them a European trophy. He's got them to the position that they're in today. And I know that a lot of West Ham fans are, a little bit disillusioned about the way that they're playing at the moment, and maybe they do need a change, but do it the right way, because he's done so much for that team and you feel like he should go out on a real high and do things like that behind the scenes, don't you? You obviously look what's next. If they're thinking David Moyes is going to leave, then you're obviously looking at different options, but it doesn't need to come out, does it? It's not. It just leaves a bit of a sour taste, really.
Yeah, I mean, the considered opinion, if you speak to West Ham fans, is not about what David Moyes has produced as far as positions in tables and a trophy.
Yeah.
It's about what they are watching. They are perhaps somewhat dissatisfied with. That's their view. If we look at Julen Lopetegui, 27 games in charge of Wolves, 10 wins, 6 draws, 11 losses. Will he be able to improve their perceived entertainment value at West Ham whilst also continuing to reproduce the league table finishes and the upward trend that David Moyes has undoubtedly, as far as results is concerned, brought to West Ham?
So I think this is very interesting, is that having watched Lopetegui work at Wolves, I thought they were terrible to watch. I thought they were so boring to watch. I didn't think there was any energy within the team. I think there was a lot of work needed from Gary O'Neill's point of view to get the players fitter and stronger. I think tactically they were the better under Gary O'Neill. So I find it interesting that West Ham have looked at it and gone, his style of play would suit us and would move us forward. I think it's very easy for someone walking into a boardroom to convince the board otherwise. Oh, this is the style of football. At Wolves, they didn't have the players to be able to play that way. It's an easy way out, isn't it? So, listen, if that's the route that they decide is the right route for them, there'll be a lot of pressure on Lopetegui to play an impressive style of football that makes the West Ham fans happy. I
think he'd need the backing, wouldn't he? I think he'd need to bring in players that he'd want to bring in as well. If that, that could have been a reason why he left Wolves, because he wanted to bring in players. He couldn't bring in the players that he wanted. So you think if he was going to go there, he'd have to have the board saying to him, well, we will give you finances to bring in what you want to bring in. So, it's a real interesting one. But, I think we've got to show David Moyes more respect.
The trajectory West Ham are on at the moment doesn't look like European football is going to be on the agenda for next season. Lopetegui has that pedigree, I guess, of European football, but I feel like I'm in a 4-year time warp here. Because I go back to May 2018, David Moyes' services dispensed of because they wanted sort of more flamboyant, they wanted a continental name or a foreign name to come in. In came Manuel Pellegrini. Didn't work, did it? He lasted from the May 2018 to December 2019, and David Moyes was back and has started turning that club around. Do you feel like this is deja vu?
Possibly. What I would say is I think the club's in a much healthier position now.
Is that down to David Moyes?
Absolutely it is. Listen, a lot of it will come down to the ownership as well, because you've got to back your manager and you've got to give him the funds available. Obviously, they've sold Declan Rice, which would have been heavily invested or reinvested back into the squad. I think there's an element where you've got to give the board some credit, but ultimately, to put the team out and to play and to win a trophy, that's down to the manager as well. He's got to be tactically very good. He's got to be good around the players. They've got to want to play for you as well. A lot of it does go to David Moyes.